Hey, what's up? It's Marco Russell here, and welcome to the Strategic Scale Show, where we sit down with serious business owners who are growing and scaling their companies and showing them how they can actually maximize it and scale to the $1 million point or beyond, or if they're already at multi-millions, how they can actually scale that beyond, up and beyond, while actually working less hours. So in today's episode, we sat down with a young lady who owns a law firm, and she has a digital side of her company as well. And we looked at her webinar and some areas of maximization, how she can actually get a higher return on her ad spend, and how she can actually increase her conversions with her webinar. And we dove deep into everything, and we dove into actual scripting of how to create high converting ads and how to get specific data to get a higher return on ads as well. You got to pay very, very close attention, because again, I give you the script and I give you everything during this episode. So let's go ahead and dive in. So Lindsay, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Hi, so I'm Lindsay Wheeler. I'm with High Sierra Legal and YourEstatePlan.Online, and we do primarily online estate planning for people.
Got it. And tell us how do you get to this? Kind of give us, I guess, big picture your journey to get here at this point.
It's quite a journey. So I went to business school. When I graduated, the economy wasn't doing so well, and so I said, well, what are the constants in life? Well, people get hurt and people commit crimes, so there's always going to be some business or work security in that. So most of my friends went to medical school. I ended up going to law school, got out, clerked at the district court for a judge, did a lot of post-conviction work in my formative years. So that's people who are in prison who may have not been adequately represented by their attorneys, or maybe something happened during trial, so we're trying to fix that basically. And from there, I worked at the legislature, our state legislature, and worked as a committee secretary for the Justice Committee, essentially. And then from there, I then started my own practice doing estate planning primarily. We do also a little bit of divorces and some other kind of stuff, but primarily estate planning so people can avoid that probate process.
Got it. Okay, good stuff. And then I guess, so in terms of the business, what would you say, okay, here's where we are now, current revenue and so forth, and here's what we're looking to get to?
So current revenue right now, so I have two businesses basically. So I have the basic core business, which is High Sierra Legal, and now we're trying to make it more accessible for people. So that's where the Your Estate Plan Online comes into place. And so it's less hand-holding, it's more do-it-yourself or a done-for-you option, more similar to like a LegalZoom or a Trust and Wills option. So basically you have three availabilities to get your estate plan done. So there's really no excuse not to get it done.
Right.
So that's kind of the trajectory of getting to that place there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And what would you say is, what's the biggest scale? So like if you say, okay, Marquette, if we walk away with this, what would be the ideal situation?
I mean, I would like to scale to the moon. You know, I want people to be taken care of. It's a national product, so I mean, we can scale as high as it can go, and making that product available for everybody. So, I mean, we can take the capacity and we can take the ability. So, cool. Whatever that looks like. Cool.
So, what would you say scale? So, what would you say if you was to pick one specific scale constraint? So, by the time we wrap up this deep dive, what would you like to walk away with?
I just think the conversion is lacking there. So we've got a great product. We have proof of concept. You know, it's going well. I feel like the marketing's out there. We do a ton of social and education. People are coming in through the webinar, getting educated on that, downloading the workbook, but then for some reason are hesitant on doing that final step of purchasing.
Got it. And then, I know we had already started working through some of the webinar structure and things of that nature. Have you ran it yet since making adjustments, or not yet?
No, I just got it done, so it's ready to go. We're gonna load it up today, and so yeah, the change is there.
Okay, cool. And then your ad, and then from there, we're gonna run that and then get some data on that. Yep. So all your front end numbers on the ad side are working, right?
Right.
Okay,
yep.
Got it. And then what does the back end look like? Like your follow up sequences and all that type of stuff.
Perfect. That's all good to go. Yeah.
So that's all working.
Yep.
Got it. And then, okay, cool. So I think, once the webinar, it'll be squared away, well, at least we'll have some data that we can actually start executing on. What would you say outside of getting that fixed? What would you say would be next? I think we already kind of got that in motion.
Yeah, I think just minor tweaks. I think maybe just little messaging tweaks, maybe certain things, you know, getting that kind of dialed out. Just maybe just a little bit more sales language or things that are that to get that conversion.
Got it. Okay, cool. So, cool. So it's interesting because we already kind of worked through that, and now you already like in motion working on the webinar. I guess outside what other areas outside of the webinar that we could dive into? Because I know because it's already like in motion, so we can't really do a lot in terms of that.
I think the nurture sequence that I have with the email, so once you get into top of funnel, you know, with the webinar, you come through and then you get put into that nurture sequence with the emails, just like refining that, that process, and then maybe looking at if there's something I'm missing, like something that needs to be happening in addition to.
Cool, perfect. Yeah. How can we, are we able to pull up what the nurture sequence looks like?
Sure.
Do you got your laptop with you, or how do we need to pull it up?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So this is the webinar name.
So we have a couple things here. So we have the webinar sequence emails, then we have the nurture sequence from there.
Okay.
After they finish the webinar sequence.
Okay, good. All right, cool. So let's start.
And then we have the workbook download too sequence.
Perfect.
So we've got three sections.
Excellent. So webinar name, confirmation. So the confirmation email. Let's start with there. So thanks for registering for the webinar. Hey there, I'm super excited to see that you registered for my upcoming webinar. You'll find all the details below. The hour or so webinar is going to blow your mind in the best way on how to avoid probate and make it easy so it can be there. Perfect. So do you also do a text confirmation as well?
I don't.
So I would make a note. I would add text as well. And this is a just-in-time webinar, right?
Yes.
Meaning what it runs every top of the hour, or
whenever they can pick a time, or it'll just be whenever on demand.
Okay, got it. So it's like an on-demand webinar. Okay, perfect. So I would definitely do a text. So let's see, one day reminder, workshop register for starts in 24 hours. So it is. Boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. 30 minutes reminder. Cool. Did you write these?
Yeah.
I like these. Cool. All right, we have the webinar watch. Webinar play is now available. How far out? So like the webinar ends. So I watch it at 11:30. Done at 12:30. What time do I get the replay?
Right away.
Like immediately after. Okay, cool. So replay, boom, boom. And I know the biggest sticking point that was people was consuming it, people was watching the whole thing, people just weren't buying.
Correct.
And we already went through like some optimizations and so forth to make those changes.
Yep.
Cool. Boom. So let's see here. All right, perfect. So we got all of that. So just to follow up with the offer to make sure. So let's look at the page. You're probably like, whoa, Marquel, slow down. If you're enjoying the show so far, you may be wondering, how do you actually become a guest? Now, this isn't a platform where anybody can just get on. You gotta be in a specific area of your business where we can really do a solid deep dive. If you wanna be a guest on an upcoming episode, all you gotta do is go to strategicscaleguest.com. strategicscaleguest.com. There is an application process, so go over there, answer a couple simple questions, watch the quick video that I have there, answer a couple questions, and if you meet the criteria, our team will reach out to you and we'll get it scheduled and we can figure out if you're going to come to our office where we do a deep dive or we come to your office. So go ahead, strategicscaleguest.com. Let's get back into the show. Before I go to the page, I was going to ask you something else. Do you have a VA or somebody on the team who is like, or anybody on the team who is like reaching out to all the registrants who haven't bought to see why they haven't bought?
So we did that. We did an email saying, hey, can you just answer this quick questions, 5 seconds basically, and no response.
Nobody. Did you have anybody call?
No.
So I think a big opportunity, and what we found that works really well, is like having like an actual person like call to like touch base with them and kind of see, because normally it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, hey, if somebody sends you an email and it's like, hey, could you complete this survey to let us know X, Y, Z? And then most people don't. They just kind of ignore it, or they say they're going to get back to it at some other time. But if we had like you can probably have like a commission-based person that could reach out and do it. So that's one thing. Because like what you're doing is like, it's just some tweaks, right? So it's like we already went through and did a lot of tweaks with the webinar. We're going to implement those, get some data, see how that works, and then add in the text, of course, and then let's look at the page. Because like at the end of the webinar, when you say, hey, go ahead and buy, this is the page we're sending them to right here, right?
Yep.
So let's go here. Let's go check this out.
So that I got updated from your suggestions.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that link didn't work. Let me go back. Is the link not live right now?
It should be.
All right, cool.
So there's the webinar link at the top, and then if you scroll down, it'll go to, or you just click on your estate plan.
So this is where they're going to buy though, right? Mm-hmm. So a couple things I would do right here. So at the very top, because right here, when they go to this page, you're giving them the opportunity to register for the workshop. But the only thing we want them to do here is buy. So it's a lot of stuff. Let me see. So like literally when they go here, the only option we want them to have is to buy.
Okay.
So let's scroll down a little bit. So boom. Because like the option to buy is like buried in this site.
Right.
So let's go.
Yeah, this is a normal,
so
website landing page.
All right, cool. Create your estate plan today.
There it is.
So you see how I had to go through like 3 steps to get there though? So honestly, so let's take a step back. So create your estate plan today. We clicked on this one. That took us here.
Yep.
And then, but it's still, I can register for a webinar again. Like then we got to dig through this. And then we go here. To be honest with you, when I would have, this would be the sales page. Like I would have them go from the webinar to this page.
Okay.
So I would have join whatever the URL is. I would have them go here.
Okay.
Because right here is just, they having to go through too many steps. So when they go here, now they gotta, it's like, oh, I can register for the webinar again. And then they got all these tabs. So you got home, you got your estate plan, you got your will, the power of attorney, FAQ, podcast, more, and like all these links take us away from buying.
Okay.
So if we go here, that takes us away from buying. And I'll be reading through all this information. So we want to eliminate anything that's stopping us from buying. And they got to scroll through all this different type of stuff as well. And that's all buried. And then we click on that, it takes us here. Then we got to go find the link. So we're like, okay, I'm trying to buy, but I got to go here, and then it loads. So long story short, I would have them go here. Okay. So I would have them go from the webinar, boom, because you've super educated them on the webinar. So now by the time they go here, it's just sign up. Yes, I'm ready to get my estate plan done. Boom, 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 bullets. I'm ready. Name, email, phone number, agreed, boom, and they choose their payment options. And then that's it. And then you got a one-time bonus, 30-minute document review. They can add that to cart. Yeah, I would have them go straight here. Okay. Versus all the other pages. Okay. Beforehand.
Perfect.
You thoughts or questions on that?
No, it's easy fix. That's good.
Yeah. So boom. So yeah. So that's one. So I would do that in terms of that, and add the text. Add the text. Fix this link. And what questions you got on this piece?
I think that's great.
Okay, good. Let's see here. Do it for you. You got the different options there. So I do it. So let's go to the do it for you option. So to do it for you, what does that take them? Okay. Was it do for you? Is it on this?
Yeah. So it's on the.
Where? Oh, it's on that same page. So it's on here, right?
Yeah. So it's
that's right. They can do done for you for $497.
Yeah, or the do it yourself.
Perfect. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I would go straight here. Okay. And then because I know on the webinar you're already selling the details of done for you and of the do it yourself and all that. Oh yeah, for sure. I would have them go straight here. Okay. Straight to the point. And then just in some of the emails, I would just break up some of the copy. So right here where it says. So I'm about to get a little personal and tell you about my 92-year-old neighbor. Boom, I would break that down into I would start another paragraph. Okay. So with your paragraph, I would literally make them 2 to 3 lines per paragraph. Okay. So it's just easy to read because most people are going to be reading on their phone. So they're going to be scrolling. So you want to make it super simple. That's why even if you look at like a social media post,
they have that big blocks.
It's easier when the text is like broke up. So yeah, so like right here I would go. So like for example, luckily we got to her estate plan and revocable living trust in place years before, and when she started to decline, I was able to step in and handle her affairs for her. Boom, new paragraph. With the powers of attorney documents we had in place, and then I would go ellipses. So some of this is totally going to go against grammar and how sentences are supposed to work in English, but it works. So I would go with the powers of attorney documents we had in place. dot, 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 and then I would go down to another paragraph. I was able to take care of her bills, make sure her house was in order, and was able to take her to the doctor and advocate for her care. And those could even be bullets. So like I was able to make sure her house was in order, one bullet. Second bullet, take her to a doctor. Second bullet, advocate for her care. And then when she was no longer able to stay safely in her home, I was able to arrange a home care and ultimately a full-time home placement for her. So you see, it's like very punchy, like boom, 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 boom. And this, so let me just make sure, and this is actually, all this is after, this is like in the follow-up sequence still, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, this is the third email. In.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's go here. Oops, let me go back. I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back in here. All right, cool. So yeah, so in all the emails, I would just break them out just to make them easier.
Okay.
Easier on the eyes. So like even with this one, where it says, so it's like, after working in the legal field for over 22 years, dot, 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 and then I'll start another sentence. I've seen some stuff, and yes, it can be really sad and scary. The beautiful thing is like you already write conversationally and fun anyway, and so it's fun to read it, but it's like since it's so blocked,
heavy text,
it's hard to consume. Yeah. So it's like
I did that on the second email where I introduced myself. It's broken up more so with like pictures and kind of fun GIFs and stuff.
Okay, let me go back there. Hold on.
You can't really see it because it's all the text here.
So.
But we can go into Flowdesk and you can actually see it.
So which one are you referring to?
Keep going down, so it'll be in the follow-up nurture sequence.
Okay.
So there's the first one there. Did you miss me? Okay, yeah. And then the second one is now I'm going to introduce myself.
So the second one, what's the next second email?
Yeah, there you go.
Right here.
Yep.
Hey there, it's me.
So that's broken up more so with pictures and GIFs.
In the actual email. Okay, I get you. Okay, cool. Yep, so cool. So I would do that just to kind of increase consumption. And are there any text follow-ups or just all email?
All email.
Okay, I think adding some text follow-up could be strong as well.
Okay.
So even if you take, because how long is the webinar on average?
48 minutes, around there.
So even if you created like a recap of it and like shorten it, like a 10-minute recap, so you can literally say, hey, check out this recap of the thing, so I can just hit you with the big highlights of it, and then you say, go ahead and buy now at the discounted rate.
So that would just link them to a page with a video or whatever you Vimeo.
Exactly. So it'll be a page so it'll be a page you want a video, and then underneath it it'll be a button, and then that button takes them back to that ThriveCart page, the checkout page. Because you're just doing like a 10-minute overview.
Right.
Right. And you're person now, because you're already great with video and all that anyway, so you just do your thing and then boom.
Okay.
Because on your webinar, do they get to see you on video? Because I think they can see you in the box.
Yeah, little box, yeah.
Box. Okay, I thought so. Okay, good. So yeah, just recap, go by, click the button, and then now you got some text going out in addition to the email. And if you add that person reaching out as well, that could help as well.
So the text follow-ups would have that link of, hey, well, check out the recap with the link, and it'll send it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it could literally be like, hey, I just made a quick video for you. Check it out. And then it'll take them over to the page like, hey, congratulations. I know if you're watching this, you registered for the webinar, you probably showed up, maybe stuck it the whole time or maybe didn't. But I want to do this video because I want to make sure you get your estate plan and not spend out tens of thousands of dollars, or put yourself in a situation if you plan to build wealth where you flush hundreds of millions of dollars of wealth down the drain, like Robin Williams, like such and such, like who you talked about in the training. And it's like, let me just break it down for you real quick and simple. Boom, 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 boom. In our program, we can either do all this for you for 0.5% of what an attorney is going to charge you, or we can actually just show you how to do it. Here's the different options. Click the button and go grab your spot.
Okay.
And then you can even have like a timer on the page. Like, hey, if you still see time to grab it on this page, there's still time, but once it hits 0, then time is up. Yep. So recap of the webinar, breaking up these emails, and from a copy standpoint, and then sending people directly to the order page.
Okay.
So those are like 3, and then adding text and a potential person reaching out to like close that gap. Hey, what's up? Real quick, if you're watching this episode, which you clearly are, and you're like, okay, this is amazing. If you're a business owner right now watching this and you're making $30K to $100K per month at least, or you're making 1 million or 5 million and you're looking to get to 10, 15, 20 million and beyond, and you're like, how do I strategically scale my business without burning out and without sacrificing the thing that matters, all the things that matters? I actually put together a special bonus gift for podcast listeners only. So if you go to strategicscalegift.com, that's strategicscalegift.com. We're going to hook you up with some tools, some strategies, some systems that you can apply into your business immediately to help you strategically scale your business without burning out, so you can impact more people and scale to the $1 million business, to the $1 million mark and beyond. Go get that right now, strategicscalegift.com, and let's get back to the show. So like, what's like the age demographic of the audience who normally on these webinars? Do you know?
Yeah, so I have two camps for my ideal client and who follows up. So it's usually like young professionals, people who maybe have their first kid, second kid, getting in their careers, bought a house or whatever, and they're kind of like, ooh, we should probably get some stuff taken care of. That's my first one. The other one is the older camp of like, our kids are gone, we're starting to retire. Ooh, we should probably get that done because now we're going to our later years.
So when you say younger, what like age?
Like usually like mid-20s, usually 30s, early 30s to 40. That's what I usually see.
Do you have like a percentage breakdown of like
demographics?
Yeah.
No. I could though, because I can look at their data on my information.
Yeah, because if that's the case, we can almost create 2 different webinars. Because like the people who are in their latter years, because you said it's 20 something.
Yeah.
And then you got those who are like what?
60s, 70s.
You see what I'm saying? So what's going to move them is going to be totally different.
Right.
So we could even when we launch this new one, we could get some data on it, and then we could entertain having 2 different webinars, because when it comes to the ads, we can literally target individuals who are 60, 65 plus, and then we can do a whole nother one with 20 to 30, because the things that's going to appeal to them. Because like sometimes if it's not messaged right, people in their 20s going to be like, well, I don't got to do that right now.
Yeah, I got time.
I got time,
Yeah.
right? And then people who are later on, they know they need to get it done, but the thing that's going to move them to get it done is going to be totally different.
Yeah, because the one webinar with the younger group would be more parent centric. You know,
Yep.
like, hey, you got underage kids, you need to take care of this. You got to have a guardianship. Here's the stories and the nightmares of that not happening.
Exactly.
So, and then the older people of like, hey, do you want to leave your kids with a nightmare? Get your shit together.
Exactly.
You know? So yeah.
100%. And now we can totally speak to them totally different.
Yep.
So we can run. It's not something like urgent, but on the back end, we can be working on 2 different webinars, because we can literally run. Especially since you're getting so good lead costs on the front, it'll be worth the test to see which one converts the best. And you may find out that, wow, this one with the 60 plus people actually convert the most, but a lot of the ad spend been going towards the 20 plus people.
Cool.
So if we can just double down and get more of the 60 plus people, and then we just had to make sure we got the conversion stuff right, because if they're 50, 60, 70, then we got to just make sure the order process is way more streamlined, because sometimes they may not be as tech savvy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So cool. What questions you got?
That sounds great. I hadn't even thought about that. That's wonderful.
With the age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of I put it all together in one of like, oh no, you do have kids, but if you're older, you know, and so yeah, the messaging can get muddled that way.
Cause like me, I have 5 kids, right? And my daughter has a son. Kev doesn't have any kids.
Right.
So the reasons he would get his, and I think Don has 1, right? So totally different, all 3 total different scenarios. We all would value this. That's why I was telling him about the service.
Yeah.
But we all buy it for totally different reasons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kev has no kids. You know, no, he's not married.
Yeah.
But he would buy this.
Because it's almost more important for him, because where's it going to go? Yeah.
But the messaging is going to be totally different for him though compared to me.
Right.
Mine is a totally different scenario.
Yeah.
So just considering that on the front end, but we can get all that data and figure out age and so forth, and then we can start to like splinter it out. And we can even look at that's interesting. We could even look at are you logged into your ad account?
Yeah. I can get to it.
Yeah, I mean, because we could literally look in your ad account and look at that data and see of registrants. Like we can literally look at like age demographic breakout.
For the Facebook ad account or for the webinar?
The Facebook. You can pull ages in the webinar? Are you getting that data?
I don't know. I feel like I put that in there. Let's take a look.
Okay, yeah, if you're getting that, that'll be incredible. And on the back end, we could actually even, I'll make this even.
I don't even have phone numbers in there yet.
You don't?
I just have emails for people.
So I'll make this even smoother. Does Mike already have access to your ad account on the back end?
Yes.
He does?
Yep.
Perfect. So we're gonna make this even smoother for you. Hey, what's up, Mike? When you get a second, could you look in Lindsay's ad account and then do a breakout of like age demographic? So we can see like what's the age breakdown of individuals who are registering for the webinar, because we're doing a deep dive right now for the Strategic Scale Show. And one thing her and I talked about, and she said she'd be game for, is I was like, we might consider the benefit of having 2 totally different webinars. One, because her audience breaks down like 20, 30, got kids, but just not in their older phases yet. And then you got the 60 plus, but they're all gonna buy this offer for totally different reasons. So I would love to see if we can pull that data and see what's the breakdown of age demographics of people who are registering, to see if it's a ton of just younger people who just don't see the value in buying it right now, and if it's less people who are older, and if we got more people who are older or married, and not even just older, but just like who have certain psychographics and demographics that we can really double down when it comes to the ad spend when we relaunch the webinar. So let me know if this all makes sense, bro, if you got some questions. So yeah, so we'll have Mike go in and then like pull it all up and then make the process even smoother. So that way you don't got to go in and we got to like mess with Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, so make it way simpler. Because he lives in the ad manager.
I was going to say, he is, super on top of that.
Yeah, he lives in the ads manager. So we have him do it and then we keep it simple.
Perfect.
Cool. Any questions for me?
Oh, these are great ideas.
Cool. So what's our action steps? What we got? I know you're taking good notes. So what we got?
So action steps, basically, first is adding that text reminder for the webinar, so getting their phone number in, getting age data in there, doing call follow-ups once we get numbers in there to see why or why not they're buying, make the website a lot easier, streamline it to make it the call to action immediate, not to have to hunt for it.
Yep, straight to order form.
Break out the emails, making sure they're a little too text heavy, making sure that they have a little bit bullet points and easier just to scroll through faster. Do a recap webinar video. So hey, thanks for joining our webinar. Come watch. Let me give you a recap of this.
Yep. And then add text, and that text follow up at the post sequence.
With that, and then potentially doing the 2 split webinars. And then targeting the ad demographics for that.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
How you feel?
It's great.
Good. Perfect. It's worth it?
Yeah.
Good.
This is a ton of information. This is good. Good.
Any questions for me?
Oh, I'm stoked.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Love it.
So at the Strategic Scale Institute, it's designed specifically for business owners who are making $250,000 a year up to $1 million or more. We even have clients that are doing $2, $3, $4, $5 million a year who are looking to strategically scale their business without burnout, so they can actually work less hours and actually experience more profit and impact more people in a strategic, systemized way. If you want to know how we can actually work together, go to scalemadeeasy.com. Go to scalemadeeasy.com. We got a ton of free resources on that page, and you will see somewhere where you can actually click and schedule a strategic scale session so we can jump on the phone and talk about how we can potentially work together. So go to scalemadeeasy.com, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you soon.
We're going to do some reels. We're going to do the podcast. What suggestions for that do you have?
Like ads?
Yeah, or just like what if you needed to see, or what should I be focusing on video? So if I'm going to create these, I got a whole day, what would we be focusing on to get that done?
So I would also, a couple things I would do. So I would shoot a couple different variations of ads.
Okay.
So like even some of the data that we added to your webinar, I know you talked about, you had a slide in there where it talks about, I think it was Robin Williams, 200 million. What were some of those stats?
Chadwick Boseman, Aretha Franklin, Heath Ledger, Whitney Houston, all of them. Prince.
So
these are all the big ones.
I would literally create a different creative with each one of those. So for example, so you can do one with all of them and then individual. Because like some people like Prince, they're huge Prince fans, so that's going to immediately resonate. Some people are huge Whitney Houston fans, it's going to immediately resonate. And we probably can even target Whitney Houston followers in the ad manager. So let's just say for example, your ad was like, what was Prince's? What was the stat with Prince?
$300 million, nothing in there.
So,
Had nothing set up, and remember the I'm Prince's kid came out of the woodwork, and like I'm entitled to this.
Yeah, so 300 million. So 300. So he had 300 million into the state. They just went to a state, or what?
Went through probate, and lawyers took a percentage of that. Probably got 30 million out of that.
Perfect. So I would talk. So I would do something like let me let you in. So did you know about the $300 million mistake Prince made? Let me explain. When he passed, because he didn't follow the simple strategy I'm about to share with you in this video, his $300 million estate had to go through probate. The attorneys probably got about 30 million, and his family was left to fight over whatever was left after the state got done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not building a $300 million estate, you probably care about your family, your heirs, and you want to put your family in the best shape possible. The biggest reason people don't do this necessary estate planning is because attorneys are charging tens of thousands of dollars to do this, and they're taking way too much time to do it. I'm doing a free workshop where I'm going to show you step by step how you can actually get this done with a fraction of the time and a fraction of the cost, and you can get this thing done literally in the next what? How long would it take?
Hour.
Boom. You can literally have this done in the next hour versus the next blah, blah, blah. And by the way, I'm Lindsay Wheeler, and I actually have an attorney firm, and we actually do this for clients, and I've seen behind the scenes attorneys charging hours and hours and hours to actually do this.
But it doesn't make sense, and all of them are actually using the same software to pull this off, right?
Yeah.
And I know because I actually get to review these tax documents. I actually created this software in this whole system, so you don't actually have to deal with any of that. And I'm gonna walk you through it step by step on an upcoming workshop that you can actually go dive into right now. Boom.
Perfect.
And so I would shoot another one, same thing about Whitney Houston. Another one for even chat with Bozeman. What's my man name? Bozeman had the same situation, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
And he was young, so you think, oh, I've got time. I'm not gonna, need this. I'm building my career.
I would say the same thing in the ad. Like he was young, he was like, I had time, and literally, he didn't have time. And then by the time he got the bad news, a lot of things he couldn't get in place because he had a lot of other stuff that took priority. I don't want it to happen for you. That's why I created this. And by the way, why should you listen to me? I actually own a law firm that actually does this, but I actually want to make this more accessible to more people because I hear the horror stories every single day in my office. So that's why I put this training together for 100% free to show you how to get this all done and you can literally have it done in the next hour, not 90 days, 6 months like most attorneys will make you think, and tens of thousands of dollars later.
Right.
Yeah. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I would shoot a whole bunch of those, and then we just test the different variations.
Okay. Perfect.
Does that help?
Yeah, that's great.
Good.
We have 5 minutes, so if y'all just want to.
I'm all. Did you record that so you can send that to me?
I got it,
Yeah,
I got it.
I'm all because I will use that script directly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's why the webinar took so long because I kept stopping and putting all it in, stopping, putting it all in.
Got
Because
it.
you flow really well with it.
Got it.
I'm a little bit more like.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
What about the podcast? So that's just kind of like another avenue for people to get to know me and know, like, and trust. So what suggestions do you have on that?
So what's the name of the podcast?
Sips and Tips with Lindsay. Legacy Sips and Tips with Lindsay.
And it's about your same lane,
It's primarily estate planning, but it's that's boring, and all the other podcasts about that are just that dry, usually stuffy ass lawyer, talking about you gotta get this done and come pay us $10,000, and that's not the real world anymore,
Right.
And so we kind of talk about, first off, it's wine centric because I'm into wine, and so we always have a wine topic of what we're talking about. We have interviews with people in different industries that are adjacent to mine, life estate, insurance. My friend is a teacher who was on, but we did her estate plan and how that was difficult for her to wrap her head around some of the concepts. We talk about travel, we talk about entrepreneurship, business, and then how that kind of ties in with estate planning because it does touch everything because it's the one guarantee we have in life we're not going to make it, so why not plan for that?
Yep. How often do these type of horror stories hit the news?
Not as often, I think. They only happen with big celebrities of
Okay, but it happens every day though.
Every day in court. I mean, that's how it's a big business. It's billions of dollars every year goes into the state, into attorneys' pockets because people just failed to plan.
So and you do an episode how often?
Once a week.
And then when y'all record them, what do you do with them?
edit them, and then we have.
Are y'all doing like clips and stuff like that?
Yeah, then we have usually 10 off of that, 10 reels.
What are there any ones that are there any ones that you're finding that are more popular?
The creepy one. So the one that I got viral on TikTok, I had 4.2 million views, was talking about what happens when you get cremated and you have medical hardware in you.
Yeah, I remember you showing me that one.
It's such a random one. So that kind of stuff. People are like interested in the kind of the macabre in that way, especially as Halloween time coming up, and people are always like, it's why we watch true trauma and crime and all that kind of stuff. People are like, ooh, fascinating. So those kind of resonate with people, but they're lesser common things, like it's just kind of weird back end things, like with the mortuary, or how that happens, or what that process looks like, and kind of the creepy nuts and bolts of it, basically, that people are interested in.
Got it. Let me pull this back up real quick.
Because everyone's like, oh, I know I need to take care of this. It's like buying insurance. I know I need to have it. Usually it's a necessity. Nobody wants to do it. It's pretty dry. But if you tell some horror story about how you got gypped out of $1 million in a settlement because you didn't have the right coverage, people go, oh, it becomes more personable and more, I don't know, relevant to your life in that sense, instead of it being this ethereal thing of like, especially estate planning, because everybody has a misnomer that it's only for rich people, they have a trust. No, it's for everybody to avoid that crappy probate process.
Yeah. What's your, outside of that one that went viral, what would you say is your next popular topic?
Talking about Star Wars, talking about Legos, talking about, what happens to your kind of collectible stuff.
So it's got it. So that's why so you're just talking about what happens to your collectibles. Mm-hmm. And the one about Star Wars, it did pretty well. Mm-hmm.
Other ones, I have one about, if you're in a non-traditional relationship, if you will, that's another one. I hate saying non-traditional because is the
podcast going pretty well?
Oh, it's all right.
Got it.
It's still getting traction. It just
are
takes a while.
Are you retargeting people who register for your webinar with these episodes and these clips?
No.
Yeah, I would definitely be using that for that. So I'll be taking, especially like the popular ones, the more popular ones, I'll be retargeting. I would literally be putting them like into an ad funnel. So it's like everybody who registers for the webinar, and even those who go to the page, like put them into an ad funnel where now you're starting to feed them these video clips.
So they get that. So once you go through the whole nurture sequence, then you get 2 emails a week. Then you get the Wednesday, hey, this is the podcast. This is what this is about.
I'm talking about ads. So I'm like ads. So it's like it's literally showing up in their newsfeed. So it's like you like force feeding it to them in their newsfeed.
Okay.
So they're seeing those clips, and they won't know that their ads really, unless they know, they won't know their ads because it's in their newsfeed just like the rest of their content.
Okay, so that's another action step we can do is working on with getting that dialed, I guess, or how to do that.
Yeah, Mike can help you get that set up too.
Okay.
Yeah, and these probably like $1, $2 a day ads.
Okay.
It's right, real low budget. Staying on top of them because some of them will end up converting after they see it over and over and over again. Yeah, so I would definitely add that to it.
Okay. Yeah, because I think we recorded 160 reels for the year, so I have quite a bit. And then we're going to re-record on Thursday so I can do new ones.
Got it. So yeah, so some of your content, it already does pretty well. Just like how do I maximize even more?
Basically.
Yeah. So I would probably just add some budget to it to like get it in front of more people, and then you can start retargeting people who engage with your Instagram and engage with your pages and start getting them into, other, like moving them deeper into the funnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, you want to do 2 things. Number 1, click below this video and go ahead and subscribe so you'll be the first person to know when we release new episodes. And number 2, you want to click right here so you can check out the next episode. I know you're going to love that one as well. So go ahead and subscribe right now and then click right here to check out this next episode. See you in a few.